Good morning children. I hope you all are studying well at home. This is Jyoti Nahar representing Shiv Jyoti Educational Group, Kota. And today we are going to do chapter number 15, Air Around Us. So children, open your books to page number 210 and let us start the chapter. So children, you all know that air, it is a vital part of our life. We cannot survive without air. We need air to breathe. We need air for many activities which are related to air, and all these activities are a part of our life. So, living things all require air for respiration. We inhale oxygen and give out carbon dioxide. For that we need air. Now, air, it's earth. It is surrounded by an envelope of air. It is surrounded by a thin layer of air, and this thin layer of air, it extends up to many kilometers into the space, around 200 kilometers up in the space. And this thin layer of air which extends to many kilometers in the space is called atmosphere. So, this atmosphere is protecting our earth, or it is enveloping our earth with like an blanket. So, this envelope of air is called the atmosphere. So, now children, we see that air is present all around us, but we are not able to see it. We can just feel it. When you sit in front of the fan and you see your clothes or hair, they are blown with the wind. So, we can feel the presence of air, but we are not able to see it. So, we are going to perform a simple activity to show air is present everywhere. Now, before that, we are going to take a bottle and a bucket of water. In the bucket of water, when we try to insert the bottle straight, we are not able to insert it because it is containing air inside it. And when we tilt the bottle a bit, when we tilt the bottle in this position and we insert it in the water, we see that bubbles are given out. The bubbles of gas or air bubbles, they come out, and these air bubbles or the air which was inside the bottle is displaced by water, and then we can see that the water is filled in the bottle. This shows that air which was filled in the bottle was displaced, was removed, and then the water took its place. So, this activity shows that air is present everywhere, even in the empty cans and bottles. So, this was an activity to show that air, to show the presence of air. Now, what are the properties of air? Air, it has mass, it occupies space, it has no color, so we are not able to see it, and it is a mixture of various gases. And what are the gases which are present in the air? We have the composition of air, where the various gases which are present in the air are nitrogen, carbon dioxide, oxygen, water vapors, and many other gases including helium, argon and krypton. Now, we have a pie chart over here which shows the composition of different gases in the air. Here you can see that the maximum amount of gas which is present in the air is nitrogen, and that is 78%. 21% of the air comprises of oxygen, and only 1% is made up of carbon dioxide, water vapors and the other gases which are present here in the air. Now, we are going to discuss these gases one by one. The maximum part, that is nitrogen, it is 78% in the air. It is the major part of the air, and it takes 78% of the space, and nitrogen is an important nutrient for plants. It is taken up by the plants from the soil. It is not used by human beings or animals. We people use it indirectly. It is not directly used by us. This nitrogen gas, it does not support burning. So, it is used means without this nitrogen gas, even a small flame would become uncontrollable. So, in another way, it is indirectly used by us. The next gas that is present in the air is oxygen. It is the second major part of the air and it takes up 21% of the total space. And oxygen, as you all know, it supports life on the earth. It is an important part of the air which is used by the animals, by the human beings for inhaling. We inhale oxygen, and oxygen plays an important role in the formation of ozone gas. Ozone atoms, they are also made by oxygen. So, this ozone, this forms a layer and it protects our earth from the harmful ultraviolet radiations of the sun. So, in another way, this oxygen plays an important role in our lives too. So, we have our internal questions, children. The first one, internal question, you are going to write on page number 210. Why do living beings need air? And the answer for this internal question is given on the same page on the very first line. All living things require air to survive. And this question is taken from page 217, question G, first part. And our second internal question is again taken from question page number 216, question E, first part. And the second internal question is differentiate between nitrogen gas and oxygen gas. So, here we have discussed nitrogen gas and oxygen gas, and as I told you, oxygen gas is a part of air that supports burning, means oxygen is needed for burning, and nitrogen gas is a part of air that does not support burning. It helps in the removal of flame. So, the answer is oxygen gas, it is a part of air that supports burning. Nitrogen gas, it is a part of air that does not support burning. So, you are going to write these two internal questions, one on page 210 and the other on page 213, children. So, now we are going to perform a simple activity. I am going to give you a demo to show that oxygen is required for burning. It is a part of the air which helps in burning. So, let us see, children, we are going to do this activity to confirm that oxygen is essential for burning. For that, I have taken 2 candles, a glass and a matchbox. Let us see the activity, children. See, for this, I am taking 2 candles in the burning position. Both the candles are burning because oxygen is present in the air. So, both of them are getting the oxygen. Now, when I invert a glass over the one, what happens? This candle, this does not get oxygen. The air which was present inside the glass had a small amount of oxygen which was taken up by the candle for a moment, and then it was put off because of the nitrogen gas which was present in the glass after the oxygen has been used up, and this candle is still burning because it is getting the oxygen which is present in the air. So, this activity, this simple activity, you can perform it at home, children, and this shows that oxygen is required for burning. So, now children, coming to our next topic, that oxygen is also present in water, not only in the air, it is also present in water in the dissolved state. Water has dissolved oxygen which in it, and the aquatic animals, the fish which live in water, they inhale dissolved oxygen in water. While breathing, they release bubbles of carbon dioxide. You must have seen aquatic animals when they are moving in water, they give out bubbles. So, these bubbles are when they exhale out carbon dioxide, so these bubbles come out, and this oxygen is also present in the soil. The animals which live in the soil, they also breathe in oxygen which is present in the pores between the soil. So, animals like rat, snake, they dig burrows and holes deep inside the soil. But have you ever wondered where do they get the oxygen from? These burrows have space which available for air to move in and out, and so these spaces are filled with oxygen. So, this oxygen is taken up by the animals which are living inside the soil, and when these spaces during the rainy season, when these spaces get filled by water, these animals like the earthworms, they come out because they are not able to breathe inside. The air spaces which contained oxygen earlier is now filled with water. So, they have to come out to be able to respire. For breathing, they come out of the soil. So, this is the reason why you see the earthworms out of the soil only during rainy season. Now, the other component of the air is carbon dioxide, and this is a very small component of the air and takes only 0.03% of space. So, you can see only a small amount of air is occupied by carbon dioxide. Humans and animals consume oxygen and give out carbon dioxide. When we respire, when we breathe, we take in oxygen and give out carbon dioxide. When objects are burnt, oxygen is consumed, as we saw just now that the combustion or when burning takes place, oxygen is required, and mainly carbon dioxide along with a few gases are produced during burning. When burning takes place, oxygen is taken up and carbon dioxide or some other gases are released. The other component of the air is water vapor, and water vapor is present in the gaseous form. You must have seen when we heat water, the bubbles or air bubbles, they come out from the water. So, this shows that water vapor is present in water in the gaseous form. Now, the other components are dust particles. How will you show that dust particles are also present in the air? For this, just do a small activity. Close all the windows and doors of a sunny room. You having a room in which the sunlight enters, is allowed to enter only through a small window. Pull the curtains down to make it a dark room and open the window or the door which is facing the sun, so that the sunlight is able to enter the room only through this small slit. Now, when you look carefully at the beam of sunlight, what do you see? You see tiny shining particles moving in the beam of sunlight. You must have observed this during the morning time, and these are dust particles. The shining particles are nothing else but dust particles, and the presence of dust particles in air, it varies from time to time or from place to place. Sometimes it is more, sometimes it is less. The other component of the air is smoke, and this smoke is given out by the automobiles and the chimneys of industries. So, these are the components of air. What are the components of air? We have done that the air is made up of nitrogen, oxygen, water vapors, carbon dioxide, dust and smoke particles. Now we come to the topic air supports life. Now you know that we need oxygen for inhaling and we give out carbon dioxide. Now how is the balance of oxygen and carbon dioxide maintained in the nature, in the atmosphere? See, plants, they take in carbon dioxide and this carbon dioxide is given by the animals by the process of respiration. Animals give out carbon dioxide and this carbon dioxide is taken by the plants for photosynthesis, for the process of preparing food, which is called photosynthesis. These plants, they take in carbon dioxide, in turn they give out oxygen and this oxygen is needed by the animals and human beings for respiration. So in this way, the animals, they give out carbon dioxide which is taken up by the plants, plants give out oxygen which is taken up by the animals. In this way, there is a balance of oxygen and carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. Now what are the uses of air? How air is useful to us? The first and foremost use is by use of windmills. The windmills which use the wind energy to run, and these windmills, they are used to rotate big turbines which are connected to generators, and these are used for generating electricity. The other uses of air are, it facilitates seed and pollen dispersal in plants. When wind, it blows in strongly, it disperses some seeds and pollen grains. It also makes the flight of birds, bats and insects possible. They are able to fly in the air because of wind. Oxygen, which is an essential part of the air, is required for respiration. This is the most important use of air. And lastly, air is required for the movement of balloons, parachutes and aeroplanes. So these were the uses of air, children. So we have discussed all the topics of our chapter and I hope you have written the internal questions also. Thank you, children.